So not much change there in the number of seats that each party has, but there will be some new faces. 50 rookie MPs are heading to the House of Commons out of 338 seats, and we've reached out to 3 of them. Steven Ellis is the incoming Conservative MP for Cumberland Colchester. Arielle Kayabaga is the new Liberal MP for London West, and in Coquitlam is Bonita Zarrillo, the incoming NDP MP for Port Moody Coquitlam. Good afternoon, and most importantly, congratulations to all 3 of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steven.
Steven, I want to start with you and just ask, what's it like? What was it like that night to learn?
Well, you know what? It was obviously very exciting. I think the results came in a little quicker than what we were expecting. So we didn't quite make it to our celebration party for the announcement with our volunteers, for whom I'm eternally grateful. But it was a great evening nonetheless.
Arielle?
Yeah, it was also great. We were waiting on the advance polls numbers to come in and the mail-in ballots, but it was really exciting. We had to wait a little longer to find out, but in the end, it was great news.
What about you, Bonita?
Well, we anticipated that there would be mail-in ballots, so it was a bit of a waiting game, and also too, here in BC, we weren't doing parties together with volunteers or anything like that, so it was a little subdued, but so good to have it over and to be ready to get back to work.
So the election, of course, just happened on Monday, but and some of you have experience in politics in the past, but I wonder what you think it'll be like when you sit down in your seat, virtually or otherwise, in the House. What are you expecting? Bonita, I'll start with you.
Yeah, well, I'm expecting we've got a lot of work to do out on the doors and speaking to people. There's a lot of uncertainty, and definitely we've seen numbers rising in Alberta right now around COVID. And so I think people are expecting their MPs to get to work right away and to make sure that we get through this pandemic. And we obviously need housing. We need to address the housing crisis and the climate crisis all immediately.
Steven?
Yeah, I think there's great excitement. It's a wonderful experience. And as I've often said to people at the doorsteps, I've had my opportunity in my life to live my version of the Canadian dream, and I really relish the opportunity to help continue to shape a Canada that allows others to do the same. Very exciting.
How's your family feeling about it?
Oh, my family, yeah, well, they're excited. I mean, I have grown children, so obviously they're off doing their own thing, which is, again, their version of the Canadian dream. My wife's a pharmacist. She's continuing to work. So, they have their things that they need to do as well, which is really important. And that's the kind of family that we wanted to raise, was to have children who were self-fulfilled and capable of going on and doing great things on their own. And they've been tremendously supportive of me. And as I said, I'll come back to the version of the Canadian dream. It's a great country.
Arielle, what about for you? When you take your seat, what's a priority for you to get done?
Yeah, moving forward from the pandemic and helping Canadians get back to life, helping small businesses get back to working and having their employees. It's important that we support people to get back to normal life. And I echo what Bonita said around housing and climate change. These are things that London West really championed in this election and talked about to so many people who want to see us take forward steps around climate action and housing. And they're the things that I campaigned on, and I am ready to work with people and across the lines and make sure that we serve Canadians.
Arielle, I just think about some of what happened during the course of the campaign, including right there in London. That's where the gravel got thrown at the Liberal leader, once again the Prime Minister. How do you think things will go in terms of toning down some of the vitriol? This campaign went negative at a certain point, particularly between the Liberals and the Conservatives in the latter stage. But we also saw quite a bit of anger out on the campaign trail. What do you think is needed to be done to sort of reduce some of that vitriol?
I think it's important that we continue to have a unified message, which is moving Canadians forward and making sure that they're supported through the pandemic and moving forward from the pandemic. I think it's important that we continue to treat each other with compassion and make sure that the priority is supporting Canadians to get back to work, to get back to functioning. There's a lot of frustrations around people not being able to get back, to businesses. We need to make sure that we're vaccinating people and really having a message that is centered around supporting Canadians and making sure that Canadians are safe in this pandemic.
What about you, Bonita? When you look at some of the negativity that happened on the campaign trail, particularly near the end, and some of the anger that I think probably exists, not just probably, does exist in the country that extends beyond just the campaign. What can parliamentarians do to try to unify things around the country?
Well, certainly, like we would do in business, the expectation is that culture, starts at the head of an organization, and I would expect that all of the parliamentarians that come back understand how difficult it's been for people through this pandemic and how badly people want to get back to enjoying birthdays and weddings and to have those things that make life special. So we need to show leadership at the top. Definitely Jagmeet Singh has got everybody together on the vaccinations, and I anticipate that all of us will come back and come into Parliament wanting to support Canadians in the best way we can.
Steven, you will have seen, of course, the House of Commons just on television and other places, and sometimes things can get angry and sometimes not a lot is answered in question period. It goes back and forth and has been like that for years. Do you find that concerning in terms of the way in which Canadians see Parliament work?
Being a family physician, we're used to talking to a lot of people through the day and asking questions and getting answers. I think that, again, I'll echo my colleagues' comments that we need to be great leaders for this country. I think that we also need to reflect upon what it means to be a Canadian. That's going to be important going forward. And I also think it's important that we ask Canadians, what is their responsibility to our great country as well? So those things for me going forward are going to be great challenges, but I do welcome the opportunity.
All right. Well, good luck to all three of you. You've now got to learn the ropes in Parliament, get the orientation, and find a place to live here, because soon enough, I'm sure the House will be recalled for the new session. Congrats again, and enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.